There was a ton of racing action last night, and there's going to be even more heading into this weekend. Before we get to what happens this weekend, let's go over kind of what happened last night. Dallon Murty decided to head north with his Skyline Motorsports team and stopped in at 141 Speedway ahead of the World of Outlaws two-night venture there this weekend, and he took home the win, beating out Trey Mills and Dylan Thornton. It was his first win with the Skyline Motorsports team. Here's a photo of him in victory lane at 141 Speedway. Congratulations to him. Unfortunately, we had a couple of other rainouts with the late models. Obviously, the Summer Nationals were rained out at Dubuque Fairgrounds. Second rain out for the week for them. They were also rained out at Davenport earlier this week. They will be back in action again tonight at Farmer City. And then we also saw the Spring Nationals get rained out last night as well. They were supposed to have their race at North Georgia Speedway. Unfortunately, that was rained out. Moving on to the sprint cars here. Absolute awesome race with the All-Star Circuit of Champions at Waynesfield Raceway Park. Chris Andrews went from third to first in the final two laps to get the win. He passes Nate Dussel here.
Nate
and then Bryce
Dussel,
Lucius.
he has his hands full now with Chris Andrews. The lead still 9/10 of a second. The white flag will be in the air out of turn 4. Alex, bring us home.
Bryce Lucius still can't get by as Chris Andrews gets by Bryce Lucius. We're going to have a three-car battle final lap. They'll all go to the bottom, down the backstretch. They will go. Lucius going to try and go to the inside on Gage Garcia. He'll slide up. Chris Andrews, drag race to the line. Chris Andrews is going to win it. Chris Andrews at the line gets it done for his third career All-Star win over.
So phenomenal finish there from Chris Andrews, besting Bryce Lucius at the line there. And then obviously getting around Nate Dussel the previous lap, coming past him down the front stretch. Really, really good stuff there with the All-Star Circuit of Champions. They are back in action again tonight at Fremont, and the winner's money has actually been increased. It is now $10,000 to win race there at Fremont Speedway, Friday, June 19th. There was also a bunch of other sprint car action happening this weekend. Obviously, we had the first preliminary night for the Super Dirt Cup at Skagit Speedway up there in Washington. James McFadden took home the win. Bud Kading looked like he might have been able to maybe get a last lap pass and get the win, but made a little bit of a mistake, and McFadden was able to kind of gap him and take it home. One of the big kind of news pieces there from that was that Aaron Reitzel was involved in a pretty hard wreck there and retired from the race. Darren Pittman finished in third. Pretty good race there out there at Skagit Speedway. And then also with the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars, Buddy Kofoid did what Buddy Kofoid does at Huset's, just absolutely dominating the Huset's hustle there and banking $150,000 as he looks to kind of continue to cash checks there at Huset's. Obviously, I think there's another $20,000 to win race happening tomorrow for the preliminary, or I guess tonight for the preliminary for the High Bank Nationals, and then $300,000 on the line for the Saturday feature at Huset's. So Sheldon Hodenschild was there for much of the race, but never really kind of challenged him. Just kind of followed him around and matched his pace. Never really kind of was able to make a move to compete for that win there. But Buddy just doing what Buddy does, getting the win. Third place was Ryan Timms. So like I said, they will be back in action again tonight for preliminary race for the High Bank Nationals. Kind of same format for what we saw for the hustle, where they'll race, qualify, heat races, and then they have a bunch of points, and that determines where they will start in heat races for Saturday. And then obviously those heat races will then determine where they start for the feature. On the non-wing side, Mitchell Moles got his first USAC Eastern Storm win at Big Diamond, led all 30 laps. Pretty dominant fashion there. Really close points battle here for this mini-series, though. I think that Brady Bacon is currently in the lead. You can see 215 points there. Mitchell Moles just 1 point back at 214. Kyle Cummins is 202, so only 13 points back. And then Briggs Danner is just a point behind Cummins there, 14 behind Bacon. Really, really tight battle there for that that championship for the mini series, the Eastern Storm mini series there. Briggs Danner has been really, really good. Brady Bacon hasn't got a win yet, but has been extraordinarily consistent. I think he's finished on the podium every single race so far. Briggs Danner probably would be up there closer to Bacon if he didn't kind of spin out going for a last lap pass. I forget which race it was. I mean, it was one of the first races, and ended up finishing in 15th or 16th. So that's the only reason why he's even really back there. But obviously, Moles, Cummins, really good as well, both getting wins already with the Eastern Storm. So some good stuff there on the non-wing. I think they continue as well. They will be back in action tonight at Williams Grove Speedway. So look forward to that. As far as what to expect this weekend, Jonathan Davenport will be heading to Salina High Banks with the MLRA Series. They've got a 2-night race there at Salina High Banks Speedway down in Oklahoma. There's a $5,000 to win race tonight, and then a $10,000 payday on Saturday. Jonathan Davenport will be looking to cherry pick the MLRA Tour there. So that's one of the late model action happening. Lots of stuff happening at Smoky Mountain Speedway. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading there. One of the guys who's not a Lucas Oil regular that will be trying to protect home turf, or at least home Tennessee turf, is Mike Marlar. He revealed a new wrap, very patriotic red, white, and blue scheme right here that you can see. And it looks like he might be racing in a new chassis, maybe a Rocket XR2. Hard to tell. Can't see any kind of signage on there, but you do see that he does have Fox shocks. And usually when you have Fox shocks, you're usually racing in a Rocket. So looks like Mike Marlar has a new Rocket and definitely a new paint scheme that he will be debuting at Smoky Mountain Speedway. There will be a couple of other guys there coming to race. I think I saw Chris Ferguson will be there as well, along with obviously your Lucas Oil heavy hitters. One of the things that that they've got going on there as well is this kind of pit crew challenge. They will be doing a Crown Vic challenge where the top 6 Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series crew chiefs will be battling against each other in a Crown Vic race on Friday night, where their drivers will be the crew chiefs. And then on Saturday night, depending on how their crew chiefs did, the drivers will actually get in the Crown Vics and race on Saturday. So that should be quite a bit of fun. I kind of like that. I think that adds to the event. I'm sure fans at the track will definitely be enjoying that. So that should be a fun time there with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Elsewhere with the late models, Summer Nationals are at Farmer City after getting rained out. I think I talked about this a little bit earlier, but they are back at Farmer City Raceway tonight. And then the Heartland Late Model Tour is going to Dodge City Raceway Park. For the El Capitan Classic, and that is both tonight and tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, June 19th and the 20th. And then finally, we've got the World of Outlaws. Kind of touched on this a little bit with Dallon and Murty at the beginning, but they will be at 141 Speedway, adding to the history that the World of Outlaws late models have in Wisconsin, becoming the 13th different track in the Badger State to host the most powerful late models on the planet. I'm really excited for this one. New track for sure, and I think it's a third mile, so should be some really tight, fun racing on this track. Looking forward to seeing what happens there, especially with this northern trip as well. The whole northern trip, Nick Hoffman was exceptional on the northern trip last year and really kind of closed the gap to Bobby Pierce in the championship chase. We'll see if he's able to do that again this year, or if Bobby Pierce can kind of continue doing what he did at West Virginia Motor Speedway and try to extend his lead over Nick Hoffman. So obviously that is definitely something to keep our eyes on there. But that is kind of your recap of what happened in racing last night and a little bit of a preview of what to expect tonight and tomorrow.